What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. We are back once again with another video here to start week 2 of Packers training camp. So I'm excited, as always, to go through all of the things that went down today at Packers camp, going over all of the tweets from all the different reporters who are there. And it's crazy now that we are actually in August. We're not that far away from the season now, so I'm pumped, I'm excited, I'm ready to get going. But if you guys are new here, you haven't subscribed to Put Up Packers content daily, news, updates, all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you turn on the post notifications so you never miss any Packers content. So first off here, we have Rob Demovsky with ESPN saying, first day of shoulder pads at Packers camp, full pads tomorrow to finish the acclimation period. So all of last week, the Packers not in full pads. Tomorrow, they finally start in full pads, so we'll get to really see how everyone really matches up together in the way that they'll be playing in the actual season. And then here from Wes Hodquist, first day on offensive line, D-line, one-on-ones. Strong showing for Devonte Wyatt, getting a chance to really see his power. Meanwhile, Rashawn Gary was Rashawn Gary. So ever since the Packers drafted Devonte Wyatt, to be able to add another huge, massive human athlete, insanely talented guy on the interior of this D-line, I was excited. I was pumped to see the Packers really bolster this defensive line, really bolster this D overall in the first round of the NFL draft. There was a part of me that wanted a wide receiver in round 1, but luckily we came in round 2, snagged Christian Watson, which I think was a great move. But I'm excited to see sort of what Devonte Wyatt can add to this Packers defense, because I think when we add another guy like Devonte Wyatt alongside of Kenny Clark, as this season goes on, I think this defense is going to get more scary and more scary as weeks go by, as Devonte Wyatt picks up this system and grows into a solid player here in Green Bay. Then moving on to Andy Herman here, saying Quay Walker making his presence known early on a run play, quickly to the outside for a stud. A good run fit by Stokes as well. So starting off here with lots of Georgia players. Quay Walker, of course, the other player who was drafted in the first round, alongside former teammate at Georgia, Devonte Wyatt. And we've talked about this a lot as well. Having Quay Walker alongside Devondre Campbell, both guys 6'4", have great sideline-to-sideline speed. And I'm just pumped to see, once the season starts, once these regular season games, start to happen, just to see what that combo does. Because, just to have both of those guys doing what they can do, I think it's going to make this defense, take us to another level. And also with Quay Walker, just like the fact that he's been playing with the ones since pretty much last week, it sort of shows just how dominant, he's been so far. Then here from Ryan Wood, Packers defensive front continuing to get an impressive push in first day with shoulder pads. Dean Lowry just got behind the line to bat an Aaron Rodgers pass. The pass rush has been quick and short during early portion of camp. So after day 1 of training camp, Aaron Rodgers said, okay, he thought coming into training camp that the offense would have some trouble against the defense just because of all the new weapons they had there. But Aaron Rodgers did say day 1, it was offense 1, defense 0. But in the past few days, it really seems like this defense has taken some steps forward, played really well, especially today. The big theme today from all the reports I've seen, all these tweets, is this defense is really sort of locking down the offense today. And then here we have from Andy Herman, false start, Jon Runyan Jr., hell of a job by Tipa holding the point of attack on a run by Jones. Mercedes is blocking him. That's no easy task. And then Tipa follows it up with a pressure off the edge. Possibly he may have been pushed past the QB, but his presence was felt. So outside of Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary, it's going to be interesting to see sort of how these other edge rushers compete against each other. We saw last year Tipa Galeai, as well as Jonathan Garvin, playing a lot of snaps because, of course, Zadarius Smith went down. Whitney Merciless, who the Packers added probably mid-season, went down as well with an injury, which was definitely unfortunate. So Tipa and Jonathan Garvin got lots of time there. But to see Tipa sort of taking some steps forward, looking a little bit better, being productive today, that's positive news for this edge rusher group that maybe he's lacking some depth. Maybe the Packers will want to eventually come in and add a veteran pass rusher, but maybe they'll watch here in training camp and say, okay, well, if Tipa's playing well, these other guys are playing well, maybe we don't need to make any more additions here. And then another one from Andy Herman. If you're not following Andy Herman on Twitter, definitely check him out. He has lots of great in-depth training camp things because he is there, along with all these other guys as well. So we have the O-line here. Yosh at left tackle, Jon Runyan Jr. left guard, Josh Myers center, Jake Hansen, right guard, and then Royce Newman at right tackle. And this has been a group that has been brought out there a few different times. We also saw a mix of putting Zach Tom at left tackle, Yosh Nijman at right tackle as well. So the Packers sort of testing different things here on the offensive line. David Bakhtiari, of course, still injured. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Then here we have from Aaron Nagler, Zach Tom at right tackle with the ones. So as I said earlier, Zach Tom has been playing some left tackle, but today the Packers push him out to right tackle as well. And as we know, the Packers love to draft a versatile offensive lineman, and Zach Tom seems to be sort of your ideal Packers player that they want to bring in here because he's been able to move along this offensive line. And if he's able to, continue playing with these ones and look solid, it's going to give me much more confidence if David Bakhtiari is out, because without David Bakhtiari, there are some more, uncertainties. But if Zach Tom can step up, that's definitely going to make this O-line much better. Then here we have from Andy Herman. The run defense has been legit so far. Jarran Reed with a stop at the line. Isaiah McDuffie, Shamar John-Charles, and Rico Gafford with a few random reps with the ones already. Now Ladarius Hamilton busts through the line for a run stop. Love seeing Tipa and Hamilton showing up. So the defense continuing to play well. Jarran Reed, another addition this offseason on the D-line, making plays as well. And this defensive group is just so much deeper than they were last year, especially on the defensive line. We just have a lot more guys that we can rotate in there, keep guys fresh. Jarran Reed, Devontae White, Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, lots of other guys as well. And then here we have from Andy Herman. Love with a bullet over the middle to Toure for 12. Quick read off play action. A beautiful rep by Zach Tom in run blocking versus Devontae Wyatt. Got inside and completely sealed him. So Zach Tom is looking really, really good, which is very promising against a player, Devontae Wyatt, who's just, probably very hard to block. I would have zero chance versus him, definitely. But Zach Tom playing well. And one thing about Zach Tom, last year he faced off against Jermaine Johnson, who was a first-round edge rusher, and he played really well. He barely allowed any pressures against Jermaine Johnson, who was one of the top edge rushers in this class. And so Zach Tom, I'm surprised he was drafted in the 4th round, not earlier, and he's looking really good already here for the Packers. Then here we have from Ryan Wood. Packers rookie Romeo Doubs drops a high pass from Aaron Rodgers on a left cross, so he is human. So last week, the biggest thing we talked about was just how good Romeo Doubs was looking. He was showing out pretty much every single day. This is just one drop. Every player, deals with drops occasionally. Obviously, you don't want it to become a consistent thing, but Romeo Doubs still looking good overall. Just one bad play here. Then we have for Matt Steinman. Gabe Burkick, 3 for 3 on field goals from 45, 47, and 49 just now. Last year's Lou Garoza Award finalist from Oklahoma, continuing to get work with Mason Crosby knee sidelined. So we don't know how long Mason Crosby is going to be out. Hopefully it's not super serious, because I think when you have a player like Mason Crosby, having a veteran presence there when, in big, crucial, big game situations, you want someone there who's been there before, who's done it time and time again. So hopefully Mason Crosby is able to come back soon, but Gabe Burkick, backup kicker there, looking good. Then here from Andy Herman. Mane skies a ball over Love's head on a shotgun snap. Drop by Lazard in the end zone in red zone drills. Nice pass rush by Preston. Watkins touchdown from Rodgers, but as Aaron Nagler wisely points out, probably would have been a sack first. So I'm just happy to see that Sammy Watkins is out there on the field, because just 1 week ago, we got the news that he was placed on the injury list. We were like, okay, Sammy Watkins, how long are you going to be here? Is it a serious injury? Luckily, it didn't seem to be too serious. It was some kind of hamstring issue. Hopefully that doesn't come up again. But it's good to see Sammy Watkins back out there building that chemistry with Aaron Rodgers that he needs to build before the season starts. Then Matt Schneidman. Rough red zone period for the offense. Drops for Romeo Doubs and Allen Lazard. Consistent pocket push and a nice pass breakup for Jair Alexander. On a pass intended for Sammy Watkins in the end zone, they decided to run it, and period finishes with a draw to Aaron Jones for a TD. So this defense is no joke, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys continue to match up against each other, this offense versus this defense, because we've already talked about just how dominant this defense I think can be this season. So the Packers offense having some struggles here. And then we have from Andy Herman. Amari Rodgers on a punt return and gets a vertical right away for a nice gain. Lots of horizontal running last season. I love to see the change there. So just a couple days ago, we saw that Rich Bisaccia apparently yelled at Amari Rodgers because he caught a fair catch. He wanted him to run it. Amari Rodgers getting some more work here on the punt return unit, which we saw some last year as well. And hopefully Amari Rodgers can take that next step this next season, not only as a returner, but also as a receiver. He did lose weight, and hopefully we can sort of see some growth there for Amari Rodgers. Then here from Andy Herman. Devondre Campbell just stood up Aaron Jones in the hole. Great read by the All-Pro. This defense is so fast. They are making things so difficult for the offense. Run fits, pressure, coverage, rallying to the ball, speed. It's all evident, fun to watch. This defense just showing out today, it seems. Then from Mike Spofford. After shotgun snap sails over QB3 at Danny Elling's head, Rodgers and co. start putting stop to the sloppiness. Hits Dillon on a seam route, followed by Winfrey on an in cut for a sliding catch. So one thing I think we will see a lot this year is Aaron Rodgers targeting these running backs, because we did lose Devontae, Marcus Valdes-Scantling. I think there is some questions as to what's going to happen at wide receiver. I still think we have enough talent at wide receiver to get the job done, but I feel like Rodgers is going to target these backs a lot. We saw last year in the game versus the Cardinals just how much the Packers targeted Aaron Jones in the passing game, and I think Dillon will get a lot of that work as well, because we saw last year that he has hands, he can catch and run, and so I think the Packers will probably utilize those guys a lot in that way as well. Then to end it off here, Andy Herman says, "Stop me if you've heard this before. Rico Gafford pass breakup. He's been impressive. And very next play, Gafford is right on Torrey and stops him in bounds for a very, very short gain. Clock ticks. Vernon Scott game-winning pick in 2-minute drill on an awful decision from Jordan Love." So first off on Jordan Love, from last week, what I was sort of seeing around the internet from people who were there was that Jordan Love was looking pretty solid, a lot better than he probably had looked the year prior. And here, of course, he has a bad pass, throws an interception. And I think it's going to be interesting to see and watch Jordan Love in these preseason games, sort of see what he looks like, how he's improved, what he's doing to grow, and all those kinds of things. Because who knows what the future holds for Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers. So I hope Jordan Love can continue to take some steps forward and be ready if he needs to be called upon. And then Rico Gafford as well, who was recently switched back to cornerback, was playing wide receiver, making some nice plays. So maybe he has a chance here to come in and finish off as a corner for this Packers defense, also being used in special teams as well. But those are all of the updates for today. So if you guys do not want to miss any more Packers content, news, updates, signings, everything like that, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications so you never miss a video. But that is all for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.